Today, we are doing a very important session on Bhavat Bhavam with William sir. William sir, a warm welcome to you.
Good morning,
Uh,
everybody.
a Bhavat Bhavam concept is very important in astrology. So let's learn more from Williams.
Yes, just a second. Okay. Okay, this actually I was going through subtleties. I was reading on particular thing on subtleties. What is it? This it made me very interested because they said fifth house, two malefics is bad for the siblings. Then he said ninth house malefics, it's bad for the progeny. Then he went on, the rishis went on to say it is a Bhavat Bhavan principle. So I went on researching, working out, and the possible combination you can come out of it. What is it? Try to apply it, and then a particular new thing we are missing and we're not stressing in. It is used. Many people have spoken about it. I've written about it. I thought I'll bring out a complete version so people how important is Bhavat Bhavam. See, there are two things. A particular house can be judged from keeping it as Lagna, and all other bhavas can be checked. That is also called Bhavat Bhavam. Here I'm only sticking to a particular bhava which has the same, like an how many number of houses, like an Aruda. Like the third house is third to the third is the fifth house, second to the second is the second house, or fifth. Your audio's cut. Okay.
The Diwali has already started in Mumbai, many crackers and all that.
Okay, okay. So fifth to the fifth is the ninth house. So what I say, only this particular Bhavat Bhavam I'm going to explain. Though you can keep fifth house in Lagna and you can say it is 11th to the seventh house. Or why progeny is the fifth house, because eighth house is the cohabitation, and 10th to it, the karma of it is the delivery. You can say later, but I'm not going to source it. That is a particular different detail about the second layer of the Bhavat Bhavam. I'm only going to explain to you all the Bhavat Bhavam of the number of houses, because inbuilt in it, some secrets are there. You cannot isolate and analyze a particular Bhava without checking its Bhavat Bhavam. So let's look at it. So looking at this, like mostly the bhavas which are going to be influenced are only the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 bhavas. The even bhavas are not affected. The even bhavas affect the odd sign, and the odd bhavas also affect the odd bhavas. But the even bhavas are not at all are not going to be affected at all. So this is the basic. So what I say, like any bhavas being affected by benefics, it is very good. If affected by malefics, it can be a problem. Let's see the So Lagna is the Bhavat Bhavam of the seventh house. That's the only bhava which is affected by only one bhava. Third is the Bhavat Bhavam of the second house, which is second from the second. Fifth house is the Bhavat Bhavam of the third and the ninth. Seventh is the Bhavat Bhavam of the fourth and the 10th, which is 10th from the 10th. Ninth house is the Bhavat Bhavam of the fifth and the sixth. So it is 11th from the 11th Bhava is the ninth house, fifth from the fifth Bhava is the ninth. 11th Bhavat Bhavam is the sixth and the 11th. So the sixth to the sixth and 12th to the 12th is the 11th Bhava. So what is the meaning of these Bhavat Bhavam Bhavas means? There are three particular rules you can say. What is it? You know a particular malefic in one of the 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 affects that particular Bhava. Or a benefic in this house is good for the Bhava, or exalted planet or a Neecha planet affects it good or bad, but not necessary. In the Bhavat Bhava, if there is a benefic or a malefic, it can affect the which Bhava is affected without the Bhava having any planet in it. So this can have, I've given you the probable Bhavat Bhavam combinations are all three Bhavas have malefics. Like, well, let's say the concerned Bhava, example, Scorpio Lagna with malefics in 3, 5, 9. So it is very easy. It's going to affect the progeny. Not necessary, this is the only combination. I'm just saying the possible combination. All three Bhavas have benefics. Let's say I've given you an example, Scorpio Lagna with Venus in the fourth, Moon in the seventh, Jupiter in the seventh. It's fantastic because the affected Bhava is the seventh house. So it is supported by the fourth Bhava. So there is comfort is there, happiness is there. It is also supported by the 10th bhava. So the professional excellence is there, and the married life is also there. So the supporting bhavas are supporting it. So you don't isolate and just check the 7th house. Malefic in the 10th house and a benefic in the 10th house can affect the planet. It's in the 7th house. Let's say Saturn Ketu in the 10th house. One 7th house is well placed, but Saturn Ketu is the 10th to the 10th. So it will affect. The same way, if the 10th has any planet, a good planet, a bad planet, it can be very, very important for profession. Very strongly. I will give it. I'll be explaining it.
Examples.
Then a particular bhava has a benefic or no planets, but it can be affected by malefics. So let's say a particular bhava has no planets. It is a very, very important concept where, especially if Rahu Ketu is in the 5 and 9 axis. It will strongly affect the approaching. If they are in the 5 and 11 axis, naturally, from the 11th, it will be in the affecting the 9th, 11th to the 11th, and from the 5th, it is 5th to the 5th. So you remember when Rahu is in 5 and 11, directly, it will affect the 9th bhava. So let's say Sun is in that particular bhava, it is a very strong Pitru and Putra dosha. If it is Jupiter sitting there in the 9th house, Rahu, Ketu in 5 and 11. Yeah, according to normal aspect, it is aspecting. But more than this, it is the Bhavat Bhava. The 5 to 5, it is there. And if there is, let's say, Saturn and Mars is somewhere in the 5th or the 11th, it become totally destroyed. So there are a lot of secrets. If you do not miss the Bhavat Bhavam aspect, you can miss a lot of predictions which we normally don't see. The other possible combination, a particular Bhava has no planets. Then it is not going to, though the Bhava has a Bhavat Bhavam, it is not supported or affected by a particular planet. The concerned Bhava has a malefic, but it is supported by 2 benefics. Like example, Scorpio Lagna, Ketu in the 5th. Usually we say it is bad for progeny. But let's say in the 3rd, there is a benefic, and in the 9th, there is a benefic. So let's say let's say Jupiter is in the 9th, or Venus or Moon is in the 3rd house. Actually, there is no aspect. A planet in the 3rd cannot aspect the 5th house. So Jupiter is there, okay, there's an aspect. But any benefic in the 9th house will influence the 5th house, a benefic. So even if there is a malefic in the 5th, a planet in the 3rd and 9th will strongly influence the 5th house.
Influence the
So in case, another way we can see, let's say there are 2 malefics in the 3rd and the 9th house. It will affect the 5th house. It will be Putra dosha. Yes. So a malefic need not be there. But if it is a malefic there, so a malefic in the 3rd, 5 and 9 can be a very strong Putra dosha. Or even if there is no malefic in the 5th house, only 3rd and 9, we'll say, oh, no malefics. Let's say Jupiter is in the 5th house, but 3rd and 9, let's say Rahu Ketu. Rahu Ketu is there. Rahu Ketu will be actually influencing the 5th house. So where Rahu Ketu can actually, at the time, people who think Rahu Ketu has aspect. Rahu Ketu has no, it does have aspect, but here it affects you more with the Bhavat. So this is very, very important. The 3 possible combination how a Bhavat Bhavam can be affecting a particular Bhava and a planet. So I will just go how I'll just explain to you. Lagna is the Bhavat Bhavam of the 7th house. So Lagna is the opposite version of the 7th house. So I've seen always 2 malefics in Lagna can be bad for marriage. So we know it aspects the 7th house. So naturally this factor is there, but you must understand it is the 7th from the 7th. So it is a mirror reflection of the 7th house. So Saturn Ketu in Lagna, it's not your mentality alone. It can also show the married life of the partner, or it is the Bhavat Bhavam. So any a weak Neecha planet in Lagna, or a malefics in Lagna, Surya, Mars in Lagna, your anger, ego can be the major aspect. Saturn Ketu can be you're not into the married life, or the Neecha planet could be a mental or a physical deficiency. So it's very, very important. A Lagna must not have malefics. It can affect the marriage life because it's the Bhavat Bhavam of the Lagna. Next is another very, very important, I call it the Phoenix house, is the 3rd house. Third house, many people consider second house for finance, but you must understand the third house is second to the second house. If there is malefic sitting down the third house, it can block your finance. Let's say you have Jupiter in the second house, but you have Saturn, Ketu in the third house, your finance will be blocked. So it is very, very important that third house does not block the second house bhava. So either there is no planets or a benefic in third house can be a very powerful factor for finance to flow. So a planet in the third house is very, very important. Again, there's one more very important aspect. The third is 8th to the 8th. So it is death. Eighth is the house of death, and the end of the 8th house of the house of death is the third house. So it is not exactly, so it is actually a third house. We know it. That's why it's the longevity of the house. But what you will have to understand, it is the death of the death. So this can be like what I say, like what is I've written here. It can a powerful planet in the third can be like a revitalization, a resurgence, a revival, a revamp, or rejuvenation, or recharge. You can change your bring back a person to life. A powerful planet in the third. That's why in an Argala you will know third house Argala, which cannot be cancelled also. Even malefics in the third house is a very powerful Argala. It's a Gemini principle. And a Bhavat Bhavam principle, a powerful planet here in the third house can be such a protective influence. It's just not how you die, source of everything is actually, it's because of the 8th to the 8th, a planet can mean a lot about the longevity, how you die, or how much you can bounce back from an illness or sickness, how the longevity can be extended depending on the Lord, the planet. So so a third house is just not an ordinary trick house. It's a it can support finance, or it can revive you back to strength when you're fallen. So even you have two malefics in the 8th house, a strong benefic in the 8th house can counteract a planet malefic in the 8th house. So we move to the 5th house. The 5th house is the Bhavat Bhavam of the third house. It's about our spirit, vim, vigor, we know. And the 5th house is also the Bhavat Bhavam of the 9th house. So you can see this commonly in people who are in music. We'll be seeing some example in music or what is intellectuals. You can see sportsmen. The 3 and 5 will be very, very connected.
Yes.
So what is very, very important. So you all, when in these particular fields, that 3, 5, 9 is very important. If 9, actually 9th is for God and Guru. But why is 5th taken as Ishtadevada? Why? Because 9th to 9th, the 5th house. So though God is given, a Guru is given, you don't analyze the Ishtadevada from the 9th house. You see it from the 5th house, because 9th to 9th is the 5th bhava. So you want to know a person will pray to which God, it is more clearly seen from the 5th house. So naturally, what is it? One's intelligence, progeny, everything is it is very visible. But you must never, the planets affecting the 5th bhava will be the planets in the 3rd and 9th. So malefics in the 3rd and 9th is enough to afflict the 5th house. Okay. 7th bhava. Okay, very, very important bhava. I have a lot of examples for the 7th bhava because it is the 4th from the 4th. So what is it? After the mother, or after the home, after your comfort center, the next aspect will be the comfort from the partnership. That is one thing. And we know in India, what I say, the status, what profession we have, we'll get that kind of partner. A good profession, you'll get a very good wife, at least for the, as far as the male is concerned. Now it is also there. You have a good job, a girl has a good job, she gets a good partner. So why? Because it is 10th to 10th house. So a beneficial 10th house, a strong planet in the 10th house, you will very clearly see it. What I say, it boosts the 4th house and the 10th house. We'll be seeing some examples. How important is the 7th house? Just not for married life, but it is good for your comfort, happiness, and your profession. Okay, 9th house is the Bhavat Bhavam of the 11th to the 11th, and 5th to the 5th. So the most important houses for prosperity and fortune, I can say, is the 9th house. So it's because 11th from the 11th and 5th from the 5th. So a particular planet in the 9th can be very, very important. What I say, how much fortune one will get. A Guru Shishya bond, it is very important. And the 11th house, you know, it's about one's ambition. and the end of all ambitions is the ninth house. So if the ninth house has two malefics like Saturn, Ketu, 11th house will not function properly. So you have to analyze the 11th house, checking which planet is in the ninth house. And the 11th house must be always checked up, which you cannot isolate these and understand a bhava. You'll misread if you do not, and you will have to see all these trio together. Only then the bhavas can be analyzed. You leave the 9 and analyze 11, or leave the 9 unless the 5 will go wrong, or you analyze the 5 and leave the 9. So it is all very interconnected. That's the impact of the bhavat bhava. Then we have the 11th house. We already seen the 11th house, how it affects the 9th house. One more important aspect is the 11th house is the Bhavat Bhavam of the 12th house. So it is the dissolution of, see, 12th houses of loss, of ending, of abandoning and going. So it is 12th to the 12th.
Yes.
So one aspect it is okay, everything like hospitalization. When will a person comes from an hospital? Yes, 6th disease, 12th is hospital, but the ending of it is 12th planet in the 11th house. Okay, we say 12th house is moksha. But if there are 3 strong exalted Shukra in the 11th house, how will he get moksha? 12th house is very much dependent on planet in the 11th, whether one person will get moksha or not. So it is very, very important. What I say, the 11th must not be very strong if one has to get moksha. So there are 2 things for moksha. 11th house is very important, and to what I say, because it is, and one more thing, it is 6th to the 6th house.
Yes.
6th to the 6th house can have two meanings. It is what I say, 6th house is for your runa, your debts, your enemies, your disease. So what I say, either they can get accentuated or it can come to an end. The ending of all this can be the 11th house. If there is a benefic there, your disease house is checked. But if there is a malefic there, all of them can be increased. So it's very, very important. Your health state is very important on which planet is in the 11th house. So a malefic in the 12th or in the 6th house can be strongly controlled by a planet. Parasri says any planet in the 11th house is so good. The 11th house is very, very important. Without 11th house, you cannot check. A powerful planet in the 11th can be very protective for deaths, disease, health, accidents, all these things, and for misery and for losses. It can be such a powerful factor. Okay, we'll go to the example charts. Like one example, the 3rd house. Told you, so sportsman, musician, wealthy people have 2, 3, 5, and 5. See Kapil Dev's horoscope. For sportsman, as an example, we can take his 3rd house. Yes, here it has Sun and Saturn. 5th Lord Saturn sitting there, and the 9th Lord sitting there, and Sun Saturn. Only it's not the 3rd house alone which is strong. Jupiter, Moon, the 10th Lord Moon and Jupiter, the Gejagesri is supporting the 3rd house. It's a Shubhakatri, you can say. But most important, why is 3rd house has become very powerful? It is because the Bhavat Bhavam of Jupiter and Moon is supporting the 2nd house. What I say, he was a very big cricketer. I think the first person to give us the world title is given. This because of the Moon, Jupiter supporting the 3rd house. Okay, then we have here another one, a singer. For another option, I took a singer, Frank Sinatra, one of the greatest singers. What is it? Singers, you'll always see it's not just the 2nd house, the 3rd house, and the 5th house. Any artistic, it is like a couple. We all in practice we know it is 2, 3, and 5. Why 2, 3, and 5? Because 2nd to 2nd is the 3rd house, and 3rd to 3rd is the 5th house. If you have key planets in these houses, what I say, one is very, very lucky. Here you can see Mercury, Sun in the 2nd, making him a singer. Venus is in the 3rd. Which is so Venus is in the 2nd to the 2nd, and you can see the 3rd Lord itself is Jupiter, which is in the 5th house, 3rd to the 3rd. So Jupiter, Venus has an effect on Jupiter and Moon. Mercury has an effect on Venus. Venus has an effect on Jupiter, making him one of the greatest singers of his time. Okay, this is okay. We know Bill Gates' horoscope. We have different ways of seeing his horoscope, but here I'm just explaining it from the Bhavat angle. Why it is very, very important is he has Jupiter in the 3rd. Why Jupiter in the 3rd? The richest man in the world has Jupiter in the 3rd. It is in the 2nd from the 2nd. And that particular bhava is from third, where Jupiter is sitting down, is influencing Venus, Sun, Saturn. Is Atmakaraka, Amitya Karaka are all sitting. Third lord is Saturn, which is sitting in the fifth house. Third lord is third from the third, with Jupiter as the dispositor sitting. It's not just how the 10th lord and the third can make it. Yes, he was in the media. Here, only if you put the principle of Bhavat Bhavam, you will understand why he is the richest man in the world. Okay, we'll move to the examples of the fifth house. Here we just have, so you will see most of the actors, the third and the fifth house being very, very strong. Third, we know it's media, how you express yourself. Your spirit actually is there. And your joyfulness is in the fifth house. Third to third is the fifth house. So this is very, very important in most of the actors. Here you can see Elizabeth Taylor's horoscope. She has fifth house exalted Venus. Fifth to the fifth, she has exalted Jupiter. And third, she also has Swakshetra Saturn. Third to third is exalted. Fifth to that is an exalted Venus. So 3, 5, 9, you have all powerful planets. She is one of the most prettiest ladies of her time. Okay. Seventh house, I have some because I have number of horoscopes because I was practicing in this. So I have some 2, 3 examples because it's fourth from the fourth and 10th from the 10th. Okay, this is President Gorbachev's horoscope. You can see 10th house having an exalted planet. The 10th lord is exalted in the 10th from itself with Mercury. Okay. So anybody having an exalted planet in the 10th house, you can be very, very sure one will rise up in life. In fact, the same horoscope, same Lagna, Sachin Tendulkar, I have not put it there. Sachin Tendulkar has a planet in the 10th house. Kataka Lagna, Sun exalted in the 10th house, and 7th house, he has Mars. So 10th to 10th, he was one of the greatest cricketers. He has the same combination also. I have one more person with a similar President Nixon's horoscope. You can see a slightly different, the parivartana between the 7th and the 10th. And the parivartana is between 7 and 12. Why it is very, very special? It is because it is 10th from the 10th. The most important thing. There are many other aspects in his horoscope. His fifth house is fantastic, but you never forget when the parivartana between the 7th and 10th, it's because there's a Bhavat Bhavam between the 5th and the 7th and the 10th house. Okay, we all know Adolf Hitler's chart. You can see the powerful 7th house he has. So he has Saturn, the 5th lord, and the 10th, and his 7th house is so very powerful. Why? Because it is 10th from the 10th. He was the premier of Germany, or almost ruled the world as such. When you have exalted Sun, Mars, with the Lagna lord and the 9th lord, such a powerful 9th house, he was almost ruled the world. That's the effect of when there is, I think he is one of the most powerful 10th houses which he had. Okay, how important is the 7th house? Okay, okay, this is a very similar horoscope. Well, Lenin also had the same combination, and he was the premier of Russia. The same Sun, Mercury, and Mars, very strong. He had it. And he was also so how important is a strong 7th house, which can be very, very good for one's career or achievement or one's accomplishment. Okay. This is John F. Kennedy's horoscope. We're looking at the 9th house and its bhava. We know 9th house is 11th from the 11th and 5th from the 5th house. When you have a powerful 9th house, okay, we know he had a short life because Lagna Lord is in the 8th house and he had that connected Dashas. But he has a see the 11th house, he has Saturn. 5th Lord, Saturn, is in the 11th house. So 11th to 11th, he has the most powerful Jupiter, Sun, Venus combination. So the 5, 11 lords are connected. 5th lord goes to the 11th lord, and Bhavat to 11th from Saturn or 11th from the 11th house. 3 most powerful planets. If you don't isolate and see Jupiter, Sun, and Venus has made him powerful, but 11th to 11th having the 9th lord sitting down there and Jupiter sitting down there made him very, very powerful. Okay, this is again another horoscope. what I say? Okay, differently. I wanted to explain this. The negative aspect of the ninth bhava. When you have malefics in the ninth, it can be bad for children, especially when there is a malefic. This is a doctor's chart. A Neecha planet in the seventh, and a Neecha, there is Ketu in the fifth house. So fifth to fifth, what I say, Ketu sitting on there. So already a malefic in the fifth with Ketu in the ninth blocked. She was not able to get approach. So it's very, very important. If anybody has 5 and 9 malefics, can be very bad. And sometimes I've seen just 2 malefics, the ninth itself is enough to block approach. I have another example. See the similar horoscope, fifth house, Neecha, Saturn. He has no progeny, is married, but he has Ketu sun in the ninth, strong Pitru Dasha. Father went early. Why it is not? Yes, he has fifth lord in the 12th house, but he has a very powerful Jupiter. Putra Karaka is very strong, and still it did not give him even fifth from the moon is powerful. But fifth, a Neecha planet, fifth from fifth having Ketu Saturn is blocked. It is very, very important. It is like you can say the Bhavat Bhavam is like an accentuator or the next level, next version or the higher version or how it expands. What I say. So if it's Bhavat Bhavam is you do not have a supporting or for it to free flow, it is like closing the doors. It's closed totally. So it is very, very important. The Bhavat Bhavam, for it to express itself neatly, it is very, very important. Or it can be truncated or stopped. Okay, this is okay. A different way. Bhavat Bhavam, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa's horoscope. Fifth house, he has Jupiter. Fifth to fifth, he has exalted Saturn. What is it? So you can see where a ninth, exalted Saturn in the ninth, being fifth to fifth, having Saturn. 5 and 9 when they're Jupiter and Saturn has given him what is a sainthood. You can see the ninth lord is also exalted. So a powerful ninth house with a 5 and 9 can also make a person extremely very spiritual. I'm explaining the spiritual aspect of this horoscope. Okay,
Very beautiful.
This is, you can see this is Sharada Mata's 11th house. Actually, I don't know, coincidentally, I've taken this horoscope where she both married, but then the aspect of this horoscope is 11th house, I told you, Saturn Rahu. Saturn Rahu, which is 12th to the 12th house. So what I say, it's not necessarily a 9th house has to be strong with spiritualism. You have planets like Saturn, Ketu, or what is here, see the 12th lord is with Ketu. And 11th house has Rahu, Saturn. So the 12th house, you can see this is clearly a moksha horoscope. A person who has attained moksha. Moksha is usually seen in the from the 9th or the 12th house. But even Saturn, Ketu, 12th lord affecting the 11th house, because it is the Bhavat Bhavam of the 12th house. You can very clearly, this is a very clear Sharada Mata's horoscope. What is she is achieved moksha. Moksha seen from the 11th house if you apply the Bhavat Bhavam principle. Yes, ma'am. I just had to. Anything else, ma'am? You can.
Very beautiful. You bring such simple concepts. We have already forgotten about these concepts and how to use them. I think most of them don't even talk about it. We are really very thankful to you. And your last webinar, you have covered only basic point, but it was so different. People have really given me good reviews about it. So thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, so I just give a summary of the whole thing. So it is like what I say, fifth house, it is not only fifth house or the Putra Karaka. Third house and ninth house is very important. Especially Rahu Ketu can change the whole thing. Rahu Ketu in 5 and 11 blocks the ninth house. Or Rahu Ketu in 3rd and 9 can block the 5th house. Because it's what I say, Bhavat Bhavam. So Rahu Ketu in Lagna and 7 can block the 4 and 10.
Yes.
So I think I can give you a whole combination only with Rahu Ketu, how it influences the Bhavat Bhavam. So it's very, very important. Don't isolate a Siya Bhava. Apply the Bhavat Bhavam principle and understand the horoscope in a better way. A lot of hidden secrets are there. I'm just giving you a startup to tell you how not to see a Bhava in a separated way. Unlace it with the Bhavat Bhavam. You will have a more clearer, deeper meaning of understanding the whole horoscope.
Okay. Viewers, I hope you have enjoyed this session. Please be in sync with us for further videos and sessions by Sir, by our different faculty members. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.